Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? Ladies and gentlemen, it is finally time to review the Killer Croc Tail-Gator, right? Yeah, Tail-Gator set, which is set number 70907. Did I get that right? Yes, I did. Bing! So, with that in mind, today we're going to be taking a look at this set. I hope that you guys will enjoy the review, of course. Don't forget, if you have any opinions, thoughts, or anything that you would like to share about the set itself, let me know down in the comments section below. Click the like button if you guys enjoyed today's video. I always truly do appreciate each and every single one of you lovely folks for watching. And with that in mind, ladies and gents, let me just go on ahead and take a few moments here to put the set together, and then we can take a look at the set itself. Alrighty guys, so here we have the Killer Croc Tail-Gator set fully assembled. So let's start with, of course, the biggest of the brick-built components, and that is the ginormous Killer Croc truck. So this is a massive vehicle, and this would be the main reason why you would buy this set. Now, of course, if you're not a fan of the whole idea of villains having their own vehicles and kind of things that are very personalized to themselves, similarly to what Batman has, like, you know, with all of his arsenal of vehicles, then maybe this is not the set for you. And so are many of the upcoming sets, like the Two-Face construction truck and the Bane vehicle set. These are very kind of I guess specific sets, and sets that are, I think, are going to be a little bit more divisive than, you know, the Batcave or something like that, where I think some people might not find these particularly enjoyable or fun. Now, for me, it's the exact opposite, because I absolutely love the creativity in this thing. Of course, there is kind of an impractical application as to, like, why the heck would Killer Croc drive a giant truck? But they actually did kind of think around that, which I really do love quite a bit, because we have a steering wheel that actually pulls all the way through the truck and goes into the back of the truck so that Killer Croc can operate it. And we not only do have the steering wheel, but we get the very cool stick shift right here so that you could shift gears, and it has a little 8-ball on the top of it. So I think that that's a really cool, lovely detail to see here. Now, speaking of details, there are a lot of really nice details throughout the entirety of the build. I really love the feel of this vehicle, and what I mean by that is that it feels like something that has been through a lot. It seems like a vehicle that is certainly not brand new. This is not the 2017 or 2018 model of this particular car. It is something that has been fixed up and patched up over and over again. We see these little pieces of wood, just a random danger sign with the Killer Croc logo on there, so that's really nice. Then we have all these scratches and little rust elements throughout. Again, another plank of wood attached onto the bottom. You can see that there's just a random tire cover here that's blue. It's like, why is it there? Well, that was the only replacement part that he could find, so that's why it is the way that it is. You can see that the headlights, they are not matching. They are asymmetrical. You have a white light here, a giant yellow, almost like I guess projector light on the front, and then a tiny little yellow light there. There's nothing consistent about this vehicle, and I love it. I think that that's really cool, because the asymmetrical design, which means that one side of the vehicle looks different to the other side, is really cool, because again, it fits the character of Killer Croc. He's not going to be the kind of guy that's sitting there and going like, I don't want that because it doesn't match. He's just like, okay, let's just slap that part on there, and does it work now? Great, let's get rocking. So I think that that's really awesome that it is able to capture that. Now, a lot of these details are obviously pulled off through stickers, like many of these elements right here, the scratches up on the top of the vehicle right here with the ginormous scratches, those are actually stickers. And the same goes for the hood right here, on this side, on that side, the signs right here, for example, the Keep Out, that's a sticker. But a lot of it is actually also printed on. Like these planks, they're actually printed on, which looks wonderful. I wish that it could have been printed on to these pieces as well. I know that rounded pieces, I don't think they've ever maybe printed off on stuff like this, so it's a lot more tricky, but I wish that it was, because there's such a clear distinction between something that is actually like manufactured that way with a print versus a sticker. It's very noticeable, at least in person. Like you can see the little edge of the sticker around, because the colors are not exactly matching. So I just wish that we would get more and more print work done in the future. Now, as far as the functionality of the vehicle itself, obviously it is very raised, and there's like a little sticker right here that pulls onto these wheels to give them this kind of suspended feel and to give the overall slant that the vehicle has. But you can push down on them, which is super duper cool. So you do get kind of like, you know, when Killer Croc is in the back here, the impression, or even if you're doing like a stop motion, of him putting all this weight down onto the vehicle so that when he's down here, the vehicle is properly flat. And it actually kind of works from an architectural standpoint as well, where if, let's say, if the vehicle was flat and then he pushes down on it, the vehicle might actually drive up like that because of the weight distribution. But they thought of that and kind of engineered around it. So I think that that's actually really, really clever and tells a cool story for the vehicle itself. The other detail that I did forget to point out that I really love on the front is the engine. Just the engine block itself is so over-exaggerated and ginormous. But again, it fits this thing, and it fits the idea of Killer Croc needing something that has a lot of horsepower in order to power him up. Oh, and of course you also have this really creepy skull on the front as well as a warning sign to all those ahead or behind Killer Croc. Now, of course, the final detail that I wanted to touch on the vehicle itself is that on the back, I love that he is from Florida. So there you go. Now we found out that Killer Croc is a resident of not Gotham City, but actually Florida, or maybe he was born in Florida as a Florida Gator there. But the other cool thing is that you'll notice there are these two boxes on the sides right here. One has TNT inside and the other has some frogs inside of it. And if we pull on these, or twist on these, I should say, just like so, we can fire those off at our targets behind. So it's a really cool little play feature. Again, I know that some people might not find that to be enjoyable, but the nice thing is that it's not a must. You can just not move these around and then you have a perfectly complete vehicle as it is. So let's move right along to the Bat vehicle in this set, and it is a very, very tiny little Bat water jet ski, I guess we would call it, or if you want, you could call it a Bat boat, but it's really not a boat, especially if we put the car next to it. You just realize the difference in size of this thing. I mean, even if I put just Killer Croc next to this thing, you realize just how tiny this little jet ski is, which is why I hesitate to actually call it a boat. Now, what is there is actually pretty nice. We do get a nice little sticker on the front to bring out a little bit of detail. Of course, it does follow the whole color scheme of all the other Bat or Lego Batman movie sets, such as the red and black, so that looks really nice. We have two additional stickers on the back here, which definitely help the overall slanted feel on the back. A nice little booster element on the back as well, some nice bat wings to, again, complete the look, and even a spare batarang up top. Additionally to that, right below the steering wheel, we can see a nice console there where we can see a Croc alert, so that's very cool. And it's equipped with double shooting stud shooters on the side, and you do get a few spares if you end up losing some. Now, as far as Batman fitting in there, he fits just fine and dandy, just like so. I will say that you can try to squeeze him in sitting down, and he will fit, but it seems to me like he functions much better when he's actually standing on it. Just my personal preference. And if you think of it as a jet ski, then it would make sense that he could actually stand on it as well. So yay, there we are with the little Bat. Now with that in mind, let's transition right to the Batman minifigure itself. And it's pretty standard fare as far as all the Lego Batman movie minifigures go. So you get the exact same outfit that we have come to expect at this point in time. He does have, of course, an additional batarang to throw around, so that's really cool. And you do actually get a spare utility belt available in the set itself, so you could go on ahead and use that for either your other Batman figures or just any other customs that you would need a yellow utility belt for. Or if you want, you could get probably creative, repaint it, and so on and so forth. So that's always really cool whenever you get spare pieces. Now, we do get one expression right here, and then additionally to that, you get a completely different look where they invert the color of the little bandana. So here it's just all blank white, whereas here they get a very cool kind of squinting look available. So I really like that quite a bit. It's really interesting to see how the engineering works as far as the color and just how much different it gives you as far, or how much of a different emotion I guess it gives you as far as the actual character is concerned. So then we move right along to one of the two somewhat unknown supervillains in this particular set, and this is tarantula, and she's looking super duper awesome. I'm very, very impressed by this minifigure. This is definitely the standout for me personally. I just really, really like, first of all, this hairpiece. I've never had this on any other figure, and it looks awesome. I'd love to see more female characters, especially some superheroes could use this hairpiece, so it looks really awesome. I love the little design up top, and then the ponytail itself looks super duper sweet. We do get an extra spare scythe as well, so if you lose one of the two, you can go on ahead and replace that. I like the little detail right here of the print on the gauntlet, so that looks sweet. The legs themselves are pretty plain in terms of like, obviously they're pretty much, well, not pretty much, they're mostly black, so there isn't too many details there, but I think it makes up for it in other areas like the gauntlets and such. And the other cool thing that was quite surprising is that she also received an additional expression, which is awesome. I love that because, again, it's not a particularly well-known character, and that's something that we have to thank the Lego Batman movie for, because we got so many cool characters like Magpie. Who would have ever thought we would have gotten a Magpie figure as an official release, or Condiment King? I mean, like, come on, that is insane. And this is just another character that we get to add to the awesome pile of characters that we got thanks to the Lego Batman movie. And the awesomeness continues with Zebra Man, who is, well, obviously inspired by zebras, because the print work definitely sells that idea. I absolutely adore the way that this figure turned out. It looks terrific. I really, really am glad that they started to use this brand new mohawk piece, because the previous mohawk that they would utilize or try to utilize was like way too bulky in my opinion. This works so well. It works really, really perfectly, and it's nice and soft as far as the plastic goes, so like it's not like the spikes are dangerous or anything like that, so it's really cool as far as maintaining the safety of the actual toy. So that is absolutely awesome, and the overall finish on this guy is absolutely terrific. Dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Wait, that's Jaws. But nevertheless, this is absolutely the main event of this set, and that is the Killer Croc figure itself. First of all, in my opinion, this is the absolute best Killer Croc that they've done to date. I know that there have been a couple of other releases, and he's been pretty decent. Like, they've done him as a minifigure before. They've also done a big fig not even that long ago. But I just love the overall gator feel for this guy. Like, the other sets kind of felt more like inspired by gators, or just like a big green alien type thing. Whereas this very much feels like an alligator or a gator man, and that's really cool. You can see the ginormous tail peeking through the back there. You can see the very, very cool design for the headpiece, where it's very much the Lego alligators that they've done before. So that's awesome, because we do get an articulation point thanks to that. So that's really, really quite cool. In fact, so cool that I just flipped it upside down, and I just realized that right now I am a complete buffoon. Sorry about that. So there we go. So now we have his entire head properly functional. I don't know why. I guess it fell down right before I started the review, and I put it right back on, and I didn't even realize that I put it on upside down, because it fell off like the actual headpiece. But now it's back, and there we go. We have perfectly good chomping action. Now, the other really cool thing that surprised me that I didn't even notice in the pictures is the fact that the head is articulated. So like, you have an extra articulation point. Like, this is the jaw, right? But here the head has all of this extra motion that you could pull off. I wish it would have went back one more click, like if they could have taken away one more of these like vertebrae here, so that it would go up a bit more, so you could kind of have him swimming for stop motions and such. That would have been really, really cool to see. The rest of the figure, as far as like the legs and such, pretty simple design, kind of like almost Hulk-like blue shorts, and a little bit of rope to hold it up. I really like the little dots that they have for the emulation of his skin, so I think they did nail that. And then the actual arms are also articulated on a very, very ratchety joint. Like, you hear that? That is so loud. It's crazy. And additionally to that, his fingers are also articulated, or I guess just the two central fingers are articulated, so that he can obviously hold on to that gear shift element that we saw before. And the wrists also do rotate sideways. Finally, the final touch is some chains right here. I guess maybe he broke out of those in order to escape and then battle and chase down Batman himself. So there you guys have it. That concludes the review for the Killer Croc Tail-Gator. Overall, a pretty solid set. I will say that it is one of those things where I don't even know how to properly articulate this, but I would say something along the lines of where this set is very much going to be very specific to your own tastes, because I could totally see someone who buys this set and is quite disappointed if you don't like the overall feel of the truck, because really all of the value in this set is in the truck itself in terms of the brick value, because this is obviously a pretty simplistic, yeah, it's cool, but it's a very simple little design. And there aren't too many minifigures in here, even though some are very rare and we're probably never going to get again, like Tarantula or Zebra Man. The Killer Croc Big Fig is fantastic, by far the best one that they've done so far, but I could see how some people might have some trouble justifying the price of this set.